Talking about community involvement. In terms of community involvement, I think in a lot of agricultural communities, there's an extra opportunity for community involvement. And I think I had more than a couple, but some really good mentors in terms of community involvement. My dad was very community involved. My Uncle Dave across the road was community involved, as were a lot of people. This area right around us started the Wainwright Credit Union, and the very first credit union office was in the room we now have our piano in the house. And it was started by the people traveling around the area listening to farm radio forum, and they heard about credit unions there and thought it would be a good idea to form a credit union for this area. So it was really people getting together and pooling their resources, and we now have a credit union in Wainwright and other communities around called the Wainwright Credit Union, and it has hundreds of millions of dollars worth of assets. But it started right in what was our dining room at the time when my dad first started it. 1951, the power came into this area, and you see power poles down at the road here, but there was no power here until 1951. And the power was put in through REAs, which was an electricity co-op. And the power poles, some of these power poles around here were actually put in by the farmers in the area. There was a contractor came in to do it, but the farmers provided the labor to help the contractor. And so I remember that. I was a boy of 5 years old, and that was really, I liked machinery when I was a kid too. And I remember I've got a couple of visions in the back of my head yet of that big cat that came in with a drilling rig on it and putting in the power poles. But it was an extremely exciting time too, because we were getting electricity on the farm. We had a little 32 volt generator in the house to provide a certain amount of power in the house, but that was electricity coming to the area. So the telephone was before that, and the telephone was actually built by people in the area. The telephone poles were up there. The wires were maintained by farmers in the area. And so all of these kinds of things were actually provided by farmers working cooperatively, and these are all co-ops we're talking about here now too. And typically they were done without getting paid for doing that, or they might get some of the service provided to them in exchange for their labor. In the 70s, we were interested in getting natural gas in this area, and I became involved in the natural gas co-op, and in fact was one of the leaders for that. And we provided. There were a number of us involved in the as directors, and we went out and recruited customers for it, and most of the farms in the area signed up, and we put in the gas lines. So we owned the gas lines. We were providing the service to our own farms. So in a sense, it's the community being involved to help ourselves and provide services. So when I look back at if you will, the mentorship that was provided by my dad and my uncle and other people around who provided leadership in those areas, I guess really all I was doing is kind of following in their footsteps. They set the pattern, and when I had the opportunity to do it along with other people, we just started doing it.